Hello, welcome to the Ballylake Railway, and we're here today to make our summer 2024 British Railway announcements. Not that you'd know by the weather. We've been here already to unveil our Bachmann narrow gauge NG7 range, and we'll have much more on that later on in this video, where we announce the liveries and details of the models coming to stores this summer. But first of all, let's take a look at what's been going on at Bachmann before we get into the new announcements. Spring is awards season, and we were delighted to visit Hornby Hobbies to present them with the prestigious Bachmann Retailer of the Year award. Trading for almost 90 years, Hornby's has supported our brand since the very early days and continues to support Bachmann consumers in Scotland and further afield. Congratulations to all the team at Hornby Hobbies. We've not only been handing out the awards this spring, as Model Rail Magazine and Warner's both hosted their own annual Model of the Year awards, as voted for by their readers, in which Bachmann received several top prizes. In the Model Rail Awards, Bachmann took top honours for 009 Model of the Year with the Quarry Hunslet, and Bachmann Narrow Gauge was named Manufacturer of the Year. Graham Farish was also named N-Scale Manufacturer of the Year, and this success was emulated in the Warner's Awards. Bachmann also scooped a host of silver and bronze prizes, and we would like to thank everyone that voted for Bachmann and our products. It was Bachmann doing the presenting once again at Alton Febex when Louise Oliver, part of the Bachmann graphic design team, presented the Bachmann Collectors Club Award for the best layout in show to Phil Colton for his Dutch outline layout, Zedijk. Along with Febex, the last 3 months have been very busy for our events team, with several consumer shows together with a tour of the UK with the Bachmann Showcase, providing retailers with hands-on training on our new Kinesis DCC system, and giving local Bachmann Collectors Club members a chance to attend and see this exciting new system for themselves. Thank you to all of the retailers that attended and the Collectors Club members that came out to see us. In a slight change to our British Railway announcements programme, several new tooling projects have been announced at events this spring, and today we will be confirming the details of the first models to be made from those new toolings, so keep watching for all the information. Alexandra Palace, which hosted the London Festival of Railway Modelling, saw the first such announcement as we revealed the 00 scale 12-tonne power vans and the N-scale anchor-mounted tank wagons. Next, we chose the Stackfold Model Railway exhibition to launch our brand new Bachmann narrow gauge NG7 range, our first foray into British 7mm narrow gauge. Finally, and just last weekend, at Model World Live, the new National Modelling exhibition in Birmingham, we unveiled 3 brand new BR Mark 1 coaches from Bachmann branch line, expanding the range to include the Brake Second Open, the First Open and the Restaurant Buffet vehicles for the first time. The EFE Road team was also out and about this spring at the London Bus Museum, and here they announced the next new EFE Road models. Let's head over to Gary now to find out more.
Welcome to the famous Brooklands racing circuit, where the likes of Sir Malcolm Campbell and Sir Henry Seagrave once battled it out on the concrete to become the fastest men on the planet. And today it's home to the Brooklands Museum, where there's a wonderful collection of vintage aircraft on display, including Concorde, and it's also home to the London Bus Museum. We're here for the Bus Museum's Spring Gathering event, where there's an amazing selection of buses on display, from RTs to Dennis Darts and Leyland Nationals, as we've previously modelled by EFE Road. However, we're here to launch the next models in the EFE Road range, and with 2024 marking 70 years since the Pioneer London Routemaster RM1 was unveiled to the public, what better occasion to launch 4 brand new Routemaster models. The 4 new models are the first to be produced using EFE Road's newly refined Routemaster tooling, which notably benefit from the addition of body-side panel lines. They represent examples of this iconic type during various stages of their extensive careers both within and away from London. All are finished with highly detailed liveries and, in the case of the London examples, advertisements too. First up is the first production Routemaster, RM8, which is presented in London Transport Red with solid white roundel, as working on Route 21 to Sidcup Garage circa 1976. Next is RM1127, again finished in London Transport Red, but with the earlier style open roundel, as working on Route 90B to Fulwell Garage around 1972. RM1546 is a third London Transport Red example, again with solid white roundel, but this time working from New Cross Garage on night route N82 to Woolwich Arsenal Station. Lastly comes registration WLT655, formerly RM655, which for almost 40 years has been part of the Confidence bus fleet in Leicester as their fleet number 15. Our model depicts it in its distinctive confidence livery of black and light battleship grey, with special service blinds as carried today. The 4 models are expected to reach retailers during July this year, with an RRP of £44.95.
Our events team have another busy 3 months ahead, including the 2024 Practically Perfect sale, and this year we're heading to Market Bosworth on the Battlefield line, just a few miles from Bachmann HQ. Taking place on Sunday the 2nd of June, the Practically Perfect sale gives Bachmann Collectors Club members the chance to purchase refurbished or reconditioned items from across the Bachmann ranges at up to half their original price. Members can also enjoy discounted train travel, the chance to drive a loco for a £5, and other attractions to make their visit a full day out. The Practically Perfect sale is just one of the many benefits available to club members, old and new. You can even sign up on the day and start benefiting straight away. A second club outing will take us to the Swanage Railway for the annual Bachmann Collectors Club Members' Day on Saturday the 7th of September. Along with train rides, we'll be providing members with behind-the-scenes tours and maybe even a surprise or two. Tickets for the Members' Day are free and booking is open now. Tickets are available on a first-come, first-served basis and are limited to 1 per member. For more details, head to the Bachmann Collectors Club website and join today to ensure you don't miss out. Our final piece of club news this summer is that of our new limited edition models. First, we have the HRA hopper wagon for both N and 00 scale, in the striking green livery of DB Cargo, freight belongs on rail. The club models take advantage of the new tooling from Graham Farish and Bachmann branch line that was launched last year. And the new green wagons were revealed at the weekend when a train of the 00 versions took to Making Tracks, the layout built by Pete Waterman and the Railnuts, at Model World Live. Both scales are in stock now, and members receive the usual 10% discount on the equivalent RRP, making the N scale model just $41.95 and the 00 version $62.95. Or the wagons can be bought in multiples of 4 for a further saving. For our last limited edition model this summer, we welcome the return of the BR Mark I Brake Corridor Composite in the stunning Pullman livery as car number 356. Used as part of the Steam Locomotive Operators Association charter rake from the early 1980s, car number 356 will have been used with Mark I Pullmans on rail tours and charters hauled by all manner of locomotives. Available now, this new model is priced to members at $42.95. We start our main range announcements for summer 2024 with Scenecraft, and new additions to the range of buildings, structures and accessories which are all finely detailed and hand painted, producing a miniature delight that is ready to place on your layout or diorama straight from the box. First, we have a few new N-scale models, including this concrete footbridge, perfect for spanning a pair of tracks, and a pair of depot storage tanks, like those that would have been used to store oils, fuel and other liquids around depot sites. The Coal Drop is a steam era classic, where locomotives would be fueled ready for their next journeys, and this model is available in a chocolate and cream colour scheme, or red and cream. Next we have our 00 scale models, and we start with the narrow straight platforms which make a welcome return. This pack of 2 platforms is ideally partnered with our narrow platform ramps. Also suited to smaller stations is our clapboard platform hut, and this model with its eye-catching roof detailing is available in blue and cream or green and cream. Another smaller station is provided in the form of this light railway station building, available in green and off-white or red and cream. Lineside accessories include the return of the low-relief retaining wall, a set of concrete apron parts suitable for double track and ideal for use at the front of an engine shed, and a wooden track walkway for those modelling barrow crossings and foot crossings seen on many railways. For the modern scene, this GSMR Telecom cabin and monopole will make a striking lineside addition and is available with optional blue door and cabin top. A similar cabin is available as a small portable office in green or cream and red, offering a much wider range of applications. Moving away from the line side, the new canal lock will help those wishing to model the waterways of Great Britain. Available with a choice of blue or red brickwork, use the Woodland Scenics water system to create an entire canal scene around this new Scenecraft model. Finally, for 00 scale, we have the octagonal summer house with its ornate design and glazed windows, which comes in brown or green to add interest to any residential scene. Whilst our 00 models can be used for 009 scale, our Scenecraft 009 range depicts buildings and structures generally associated with narrow gauge operations, albeit 00 modelers can still use these 009 models on their projects as they are made to the same 4mm to the foot scale. For summer 2024 we welcome back the popular slate-built workers' cottage, along with the stone water tower with its metal ladder and filler pipe and hose detail. Our new models today all depict buildings and structures found on the Festiniog Railway, and we start with the platform waiting room from Minforth Station. This model is available in chocolate and cream or green and cream. Next is the wooden footbridge from Tannybulk Station, and this model is available with a natural wood finish or painted green. Next we head to the harbour, Porthmadog Harbour in fact, and Harbour Station Goods Shed, which has green or red woodwork to match the Harbour Station buildings previously modelled by Scenecraft. Our final Festiniog structure for today is this impressive model of Boston Lodge 2-road engine shed, which again comes with a choice of green or red woodwork. A handy new accessory for narrow gauge modellers is this pair of sleeper-built buffer stops. Staying with narrow gauge, and we have just one new model for the Bachmann narrow gauge 009 range. The R&AD open-end brake van has been produced again in the popular Statfold Barn Railway brown livery, this time numbered 43479. Production of this model has coincided with the new Bachmann Collectors Club 009 scale annual members wagon, which will be issued from the 1st of July onwards. Our next narrow gauge models, however, are somewhat larger.
Now we turn to our Bachmann narrow gauge NG7 range. That was a brand new 7mm scale narrow gauge range announced by Bachmann in the middle of April. You may have already seen our video in which me and Gary, good to have you back Gary,
Thank you.
go over the range, what's going to be launching it, and now it's time to share the livery details with you. Just to recap, the Bachmann NG7 range depicts narrow gauge prototypes in 7mm scale. These are run on 016.5 gauge track, the same as 00, and they are scaled to 143.5, the same as O gauge. Gary, we now want to know which locomotives we're going to be seeing first.
No problem at all.
Is this a clue?
It's a very big clue. As people will remember, we're doing 4 quarry Hunslets of the Penryn Quarry, Dinorwic Quarry and Penryn quarries. Alice here being the first one, which we're delighted to say, here it is.
And what a beauty it is indeed.
We think so. It's done in Era 2 condition onwards, but also as it ran in preservation. We're representing her in Dinorwic Quarry condition, fully lined out in red, detailed brasswork.
I mean, the detail on the back end with it all decorated is just astonishing.
It's fantastic. I mean, the pressure gauge is all detailed, you can see the whole thing. And it also comes complete with an accessory pack containing different length dumb buffers depending on the radius curves you're operating on, optional etched brass nameplates that you can stick on if you want to.
But they've got printed ones already, haven't they?
They have, yes. And there's also fire irons and shovels and things which can all be added on to sort of bring out the detail in your model.
Lovely. Well, great starting point, Gary. Shall we see what else we've got on the Quarry Hunslets?
Yeah. So in addition to Alice, Richard, we've got 3 more Quarry Hunslets also preserved. We have the very well-known Britomart, which, as you know, we did in 009. We have Margaret, and we also have Una.
Wonderful, Gary. I know in 009 we couldn't get sound fitted into the locomotives.
That's right.
But I'm sure you saw Britomart. There was a sound fitted version, wasn't there?
There was.
In a roundabout way, with the model going in the toolbox on the real locomotive. And it doesn't get any more real than that, does it?
No, quite not.
But for NG7, we have been able to offer sound fitted models because we've got a little bit more space in these lovely locomotives. We've got the Next 18 DTC interface in there, we've got a pre-fitted speaker, we've even got the firebox lighting system.
We have.
And that gives us the opportunity to offer these models with sound fitted as well. So let's take a little bit more of a look at the locomotives in detail.
First up we have Margaret, one of the Penryn Quarry's small class, which like Alice has no cap. However, the model does not feature the dumb buffers that were so distinctive of its Dinorwic Quarry cousins. The locomotive carries an early version of the Penryn Quarry line black livery, as carried by the real Margaret today at the Vale of Rydal Railway. Next we have the well-known Britomart, built for the Penryn Slate Quarry in 1899. Our model depicts this popular locomotive in the condition in which it currently runs at its home on the Festiniog Railway, wearing a distinctive lime blue livery and equipped with vacuum brakes. Also built for the Penryn Quarry is Una of 1905 vintage, which can today be found at the National Slate Museum in Llanberis. The model is finished in the lime green livery, which the locomotive carried throughout much of the 1980s and 1990s. Una also features in our NG7 starter packs, the first of which, the Countess starter pack, includes Una with 4 grey wagons, a pack of footplate crew and a pack of slate wagon loads. The Empress starter pack includes all of the above, plus a slate-built engine shed, water tower and coal store. Both packs are available with the option of Una being sound fitted. So in addition to the locomotives, Richard, we've got our range of wagons, all based on Denoric prototypes. We have the 8-ton coal wagon with closed sides. We have the open-sided 7-ton slate wagon and the flat wagon as well.
Lovely, and they're coming in a choice of grey or red liveries. We've got 2 versions of each livery of each wagon, so there's quite a few to collect and add to a nice train if you wish. And it should be noted, Gary, which you'll be well aware, but a lot of people think the numbering on the side of the red wagons is a wagon number, but it's the weight, isn't it?
It was, yes.
So if you have 2 the same, that's totally prototypical and nothing to worry about. The grey versions are unmarked, and with the slate wagon, we've got our Scenecraft slate loads included, and with the coal wagon, we've got our Scenecraft coal loads included. In addition to that, we are making the slate loads available separately as well.
Yeah, and that's actually really good, Richard, because coal wagons in particular, when they were used at Denoric, would travel down with fully loaded slate, but then they would come back up carrying coal. So to be able to put our slate load into the coal wagon would be entirely prototypical.
Great idea, and what a good way of using the wagons to full potential by the real quarry.
Absolutely.
They certainly knew what they're doing, didn't they?
They did. And on the subject of accessories, Richard, you'll notice here that Margaret has our Scenecraft locomotive crew fitted. They don't come with the locomotive but can be bought separately, but again, highly detailed resin, very prototypical.
They really look the part, don't they?
They do. They're just to add that little bit of something else.
They certainly do, and they're hand painted just like all of our Scenecraft models.
Yes.
And to complement the locomotives and rolling stock, we've got the new Scenecraft NG7 slate built engine shed with its matching water tower and coal store. These 3 buildings are supplied individually, so you don't have to have all 3, you can have whichever suits your needs. But all of them are hand painted, ready to take out the box and place on your layout or diorama straight away. So why not get building today?
So there you have it, Richard. This is our complete Bachmann narrow gauge NG7 range, which will be available in the shops this summer.
I'm sure there's a lot of people looking forward to this, just as much as we are looking forward to seeing people using the models, building layouts, enjoying it. And if you're already doing O-scale, these models will fit perfectly alongside. It's a narrow gauge equivalent to O-scale. If you're already modelling in 00, you can even run these models on your 00 gauge track. They run on 16.5mm track, which is also known as O16.5, available commercially from Pico, available from all good model railway shops. And just like Bachmann products, get down to your local shop, support your retailer, and we look forward to seeing what people do with these wonderful new products. Many thanks for joining me, Gary.
No problem at all.
Thank you. So now we're back at Barwell and we've got more exciting news to share with you. And I'm joined for that by Dave Parsons from our research and development team.
Hi Richard.
Good to have you back, Dave.
It's good to be back.
We saw you last quarter and we
Yes.
did say there was obviously 3 new toolings last time round.
There was.
But we said there was more to come and we certainly weren't lying.
There is a lot that we've brought a lot to the table today. And not everything is here.
No, of course. We've got things like the power vans in 00 that were announced at Alexandra Palace.
Yes. Yeah.
The new Mark 1 coaches for 00 that were announced just last weekend at Mother World Live.
Nice surprise for everyone, I hope.
Certainly were, I think. No one saw those coming. And then we've got the anchor mounted tank wagons at the front there for N scale. And should we start there today?
I think we shall. Yeah.
So the anchor mounted tank wagons were the first products that we unveiled in a slightly different manner to our usual quarterly British Railway announcements. These were announced at the London Festival of Railway Modelling at Alexandra Palace in March, and we showed the engineering prototypes for the models, which had obviously reached a major stage of development. And today we're revealing the livery samples along with the item details and pricing and availability, which will all be on our website later today. Dave, the anchor mounted tank wagons have been really well received in 00, so a natural progression down to N.
Certainly, where we can, we've been scaling models up and down from 00 to N, and this was a natural one to do. So they're a nice colourful addition to Graham Farish.
The real wagons were a sort of more modern development of the 14-tonne tank wagons that we've had in the range for a long time, aren't they?
That's right, yes. 20-tonne and 14-tonne anchor-mounted tank wagons. They carried Class A and Class B fuels and were widely used on the British Railway network.
I know we've got on the models themselves NEM pockets, which They don't feature on the older 14-ton versions.
And all the tooling variations we had in 00 have been scaled down for N gauge as well. So we have the with and without the ladders that lead up to the gantries, the steam inlet pipe for the heating of the Class B fuel for discharging on cold days, and a wealth of colours and liveries to choose from. And each of the different liveries we're producing will be in a duplicate B number as well.
So people can make up an authentic rake without duplicating the same wagon over and over again.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Should we take a look at what we've got coming up, Dave, on those?
Yes, please.
The first models depict 14-ton tanks, including this pair in benzene silver livery, with central fillers and cranked air vents, whilst the same features can be seen on these National Benzo silver wagons, and these two black wagons with Fina fuel oil branding. Two wagons with offset fillers, ladders, straight air vents, bottom outlet pipes and steam heating inlet valves carry the vibrant Gulf blue, rounding off our 14-ton offerings. Representing 20-ton tanks is this duo in black, with Shell BP markings which sport offset fillers, bottom outlet pipes, steam heating inlet valves and ladders. A final pairing sport the same details and carry Esso black livery.
Whilst the anchor-mounted tank wagons are the only brand new tooling unveiled today for Graham Farish, we do have coming out this summer the Class 450 DeZero EMU, which has been announced for a good few years now, Dave.
It has. It's a new tooling addition to our range. It's a modification of the Class 350, the same as what we did with the 350 in 00. We had the additional tooling required to make the Class 450, and that now happily enters our Graham Farish range.
I know on the 350 we've done some modifications to the vehicles to allow us to model accurately another livery variant on that, haven't we?
That's right, yes. So we removed one of the windows and added some extra detail to the body side of one of the centre cars. So the Class 350 allowing us to produce the Transpennine Express livery.
Super. So alongside the two models we've announced, we've got some more for you today, and let's look at those now, along with further additions to the Graham Farish range.
Part of the Siemens DeZero family, the Class 450 electric multiple unit is a development of our Class 350 model and is distinguished by the lack of pantograph on the roof of the centre vehicle. The 4-car Class 450 will be available in South Western Railway livery this summer, joining the previously announced South West Trains version. Alongside these 450s, the Class 350 returns and is decorated in London North Western Railway livery for the first time, joining the Transpennine Express model which is also on the way this summer. Along with the new anchor-mounted tanks, we welcome the return of the larger and more contemporary 102-ton TEA bogie tank wagons, starting with a pair in BP green. Next is the grey livery of Conoco Jet, with one pristine and one weathered wagon, and these are joined by a pair of pristine Shell BP grey tanks. Our final wagons sport conical-ended tanks and are all decorated in black, with a pristine pair in BR black, joined by a weathered duo with Gulf branding. Goods trains require brake vans, and the BR 20-ton brake van is ideal for use with our tank wagons and our wider range of freight stock. Available in BR bauxite with a choice of 2 running numbers, this brake van will also be released in Rail Express Systems livery, in Rail Freight red and grey livery with a choice of 2 numbers, and 2 models will be finished in Rail Freight livery with distribution sector markings.
It's certainly been a busy first half of the year for Graham Farish fans, with the LMS twins, the dancehall brake vans last time out. Now we've got the anchor-mounted tank wagons, the 350, 450s arriving, and there's more to come later in the year. So hopefully, if you're into N scale, there's going to be something for you hitting the shelves in the coming months. But now, are we moving on to 00, Dave?
We are. There's lots of new 00 announcements to make, obviously, but I believe we've also got a few EFE rail announcements to make later too.
We certainly have, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's take a look at what we've got in front of us, shall we?
So the first of our new tooling for summer 2024 announcements is the BR Pal Van, or Pallet Van. For those of you at the London Festival of Modern Railway, they would have seen the EPs there and the announcements we made for them online. And they're a great addition to our range.
It's a very iconic vehicle, Dave. I know they weren't massively successful in service, but stick that next to a normal 12-ton van and it sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it?
It stands out, it does, yes. It's a very unique thing, and it reflects the changes in the British transport industry and the way goods are moved around the country.
Yes.
Which the pallets are still used today.
Yeah, and you go to a preserve railway, there's often one of these around, and again, catches your eye straight away. So one I'm really pleased to see coming into the range. and we've got a lot of details packed into the model to depict the various build batches and the differences BR made while they were building them, haven't we?
It certainly is, yes. As with the wagons announced earlier this year, they've got all new chassis, all new bodies. So the new tooling accommodates for the early Morton brakes with the tie bar across the bottom of the chassis, which is on this model here. We've also got the later 8-shoe clasp brakes on the later model. Both chassis are available with oil and roller bearing axle boxes. We have 3 different types of buffer as well. They have the spindle, the self-contained and the oleo buffer, all available in various combinations for different models.
Nice suite of tooling then, Dave. And at the front, we've got the green models. I know these are livery samples.
Yes,
There's a bit of tweaking to them on the colour.
Yeah, there's still some adjustments to be made on the colour, but they'll be very attractive. Certainly stand out from the crowd in your rake of brown vans.
I think anyone that saw the engineering prototype with the advertising board could have guessed which versions we were doing.
They probably knew what was coming.
But I think they're going to be very popular indeed. And unlike our previous British Railway announcements, it's important to note that some of these new projects won't be arriving in shops in the next 3 months. We've listened to feedback from our customers and consumers and appreciate that sometimes you'd like a little bit longer to plan your future purchases. And it also allows us to show you the beauty of these models a little bit further in advance. Certainly with the engineering prototypes, it's easy to see the composition of the model. When it's in the unpainted form, you can see the metal components on that. And the different pieces that have been used to construct the finished article. So look on our website where full product availability information is published, and for the power vans we're looking at these arriving towards the end of this year.
Should we take a look at what models have been announced this quarter then?
We certainly shall.
Our first pair of models depict power vans with 4-shoe Morton brakes, complete with tie bars, plated oil axle boxes and spindle buffers. Decorated in early BR bauxite livery, both vans are marked pallet van. Next is a pair in later BR bauxite, and these vans sport 8-shoe clasp brakes, roller bearings and oleo buffers. One example is pristine and carries yellow circuit logos. The other is weathered and marked power van. Our final pair carry the green livery of whisky maker Johnny Walker.
And sticking with rolling stock, you may well have noticed the bevy of Mark 1 coaches we have in front of us. So these are a lovely addition to our large and staple range of Mark 1 vehicles we've had for a long time now. There's 3 brand new coach classifications here waiting for everyone.
Certainly is, Dave. These are 3 vehicle types that have been much requested by our consumers. And it was a delight to get them out and show them at Model World Live over the weekend with the engineering samples that you can see at the front there. And now we've got the initial liveries in front of us that are going to be produced towards the end of this year.
So the Mark 1 BSO, the brake second open, has never been produced by a Bachmann branch line to this standard before. It's a great addition to the coaches we've announced last quarter.
Yes, because the Mark 1s are coming back in various new liveries, running numbers, and we'll have a lot more news on Mark 1s over the next few months. Including, I know we've got new bogies under these models that we've been able to put onto the existing Mark 1s as well.
That's right, yes.
What we've got next, Dave?
Next we have the FO, the first open. It's a coach that we've produced in Graham Farish before, but again never made to the standard in branch line before.
And with the curtains on the livery application there, you've got...
That's right, being a first class coach, it has curtains.
The first class lozenges printed onto the windows. They are really stunning models.
Yeah, the white tablecloths as well painted inside.
So BSO, FO, and what's the third one, Dave?
Our third announcement is the RB and the RBR, which are a great new catering vehicle to our range of Mark 1 coaches. And that'll be available in the chocolate and cream, maroon and southern region green.
Great, and there'll be later liveries on offer in the next few months?
Yes, there certainly will. So our initial announcements are the early liveries, and then there'll be more to come.
Because you mentioned there the RBR, which is the refurbished vehicles, so obviously they'll carry the later liveries, I'm sure.
That's right, yes. So there'll be a few more surprises with things like the brake coach as well.
Super. For the later models that we'll be revealing in due course, we've got a selection of bogies available. I know we've got the BR1, the BR2, the Commonwealth, all on display here, Dave, but we've got the B5s as well.
B5 bogie, yes. We've also told that for later releases.
We can do the BSOTs, which had a small catering provision in those vehicles. Obviously, we've got the refurbished RBs. So there's a lot to look forward to. And these, although they're brand new models, they're going to run perfectly alongside our existing range of Mark 1s, aren't they?
That's correct. The profile was so good on the old models that these will match perfectly alongside them.
Wonderful. And we've got some tooling options that are reflecting what's available on the recently reintroduced Mark 1s.
That's right, yeah. So we added the extra tooling option of with and without end steps on the older coaches. This is available on these coaches as well. So they're all with and without end steps.
Wonderful. And the eagle-eyed viewer will see that the coaches, the BSOs, have got the periscopes on the roof, whereas the engineering prototype down the front there hasn't. So you can be sure that's a variant that's on the way too.
Yeah, I was hinting at a blue and grey era coach, I believe.
It certainly is. It'd be remiss not to do that.
No, that's right.
So let's take a closer look at what we've got coming out in the first batch of these new Mark 1 coaches. The first of our new Break Second Opens carries BR Crimson and Cream livery as E9201. In as-built condition, this model sports end steps and roof periscopes and runs on BR B1 bogies. A pair of BR Maroon models sport the same features and are numbered SC9357 and E9277. This chocolate and cream model is also in original condition and is numbered W9276. The range of first opens starts off with two Crimson and Cream vehicles in as-built condition, numbered E3048 and M30343. This model of number SC3102 in BR Maroon, however, has had its end steps removed and runs on Commonwealth bogies, characteristics shared by E3123. We return to B1 bogies and end steps present for W3085, which is decorated in chocolate and cream. The restaurant buffet vehicles were outshopped straight into BR Maroon, and in this livery we have SC1658 and E1664, each running on Commonwealth bogies. Number W1732 is finished in chocolate and cream livery and runs on the less common BR2 bogies. The final model for this initial offering depicts S1767 in BR SR green, and again, Commonwealth bogies are fitted. Now there is something here, Dave, that has been staring everyone in the face that we've not spoken about yet.
What's that?
And that is our brand new Bachmann branch line Class 25s, which of course we announced a good few years ago now. An embarrassing number of years ago, some might say.
They've been in the making for a while, haven't they?
But that time has been well spent, I think it's fair to say. Producing the two models that we promised all those years ago, along with a selection more covering the 25 1s, 25 2s and 25 3s.
That's right, yeah, across all the three subclasses. It's a nice range of models to something for everybody.
And it's such a big story, a big project to tell people about, that we've actually spent some time with Hornby Magazine and told them all about the project and looked at the intricacies of what we've done to make the new branch line 25s. And you can watch that video now over on the Hornby Magazine channel, and you'll find a link below for that. But shall we have a look at the versions that are going to be released this summer, Dave?
I think we should.
Class 25 ones were characterised by their myriad bodyside grilles and small central cab windows, a necessity to make room for the interconnecting doors in the nose ends below. And alongside the previously announced model of 25-1 number 25057 in weathered BR blue, we're delighted to present a much requested pristine version of this locomotive. 25057 sports plated nose end doors, plated bodyside steps, later pattern sandboxes, and displays 4 zeros in the head code blinds. As with all of our Class 25s, standard, sound-fitted and sound-fitted deluxe versions are offered, the latter featuring a motorised roof fan and tinted drivers and second man's windscreens. Depicting the 25-1 in as-built condition, D5225 in BR green livery with lower bodyside band with interconnecting doors in the cab ends, the bodyside steps are present while sandboxes are of the later type. While most of the 25-1s had steam heat boilers, 4 were built without, and number D5179 is one such example, the lack of water tank being the most obvious indicator of this. As a result, the boiler exhaust is plated over. However, bodyside steps remain present and the nose end doors can be seen. Both models are adorned with small yellow panels at each end. Most of the Class 25-2s and all of the 25-3s had a distinctly different outward appearance to the 25-1s. With grilles at cant rail level rather than littering the bodyside, the cab ends also had 3 full-size windscreens as communication doors were not included in the revised design. D5282 in two-tone green is our first 25-2. Previously announced, and now with the addition of sound-fitted and sound-fitted deluxe variants, this locomotive is fitted with original exhaust, has bodyside steps and late pattern sandboxes. Also appearing in two-tone green is D7525, albeit with full yellow ends and a weathered finish. The original exhaust is once again present, along with early pattern sandboxes, and like most 25.2s, this locomotive is not boiler fitted, so there is no water tank or boiler exhaust to be seen on this example. Our blue 25.2s start with 25155 with its modified long exhaust, plated bodyside steps and later style sandboxes. Next is 25106, and this locomotive has a modified short exhaust. Again, the bodyside steps are plated and late sandboxes are fitted, but this locomotive also sports clips on the battery box which were a later addition. 25106 is supplied with a weathered finish and displays dominoes in its headco boxes. For our final 25.2, we turn our attention to the 5 locomotives that were fitted with steam heat boilers, and in particular 25085, which as can be seen, carries a water tank and has the boiler port on the roof. This is combined with a modified long exhaust, plated bodyside steps, original sandboxes and original battery boxes, with 4 zeros displaying in each headco box. Two 25/3s form part of the initial range, and we start with D7660, one of the 2 locomotives outshopped in BR blue with small yellow walling panels. D7660 has many original features, including its exhaust, battery boxes and bodyside steps. Sandboxes are of the later pattern, and the locomotive has an electronic speedo fitted to the number 2 bogie, the external feature that distinguishes the 25.3s from the 25.2s. Finally, we have D7672, Tamworth Castle. This 25.3 became something of a celebrity, working specials on the main line after the last 25s had been withdrawn from service. With a modified short exhaust, bodyside steps and boiler vent grille, Tamworth Castle has later style sandboxes, battery box clips and the 25.3 electronic speedo. This locomotive is finished in BR two-tone green with full yellow ends. A livery not carried in service, she was outshopped in BR blue, but applied by Leeds Holbeck in the late 1980s, leading to the locomotive's celebrity status. All of our 25s feature intricately detailed cab interiors, with era-specific decoration, whilst the engine room detail can also be seen through the bodyside windows of the 25.2s and 3s.
Well, that's the Class 25 new announcements. Each of them is available in the standard sound-fitted and sound-fitted deluxe models. The sound-fitted deluxe incorporating the working fans and the tinted windscreens. And they look good.
They certainly do. And remember to check out the Hornby Magazine video for an in-depth look at these new models. But for now, we've got some new additions to the branch line range which come from existing tooling. So let's take a look at those. Also joining the branch line range this summer are new versions of the Class 03 diesel shunter. Taking advantage of the sound fitted upgrades that this model received in recent years, we're offering every model with or without sound fitted. First is number 03056 in BR blue. Next we have D2095 in BR green with wasp stripes. The same livery is carried by D2099, albeit this locomotive has a weathered finish. The last 03 for now is former D2054, which carries its white British Industrial Sand livery. The LMS 3F Ginty also received a sound-fitted upgrade not long ago, and today we can reveal new models, each of which will be available with or without sound-fitted. Number 16564 carries large tankside numbers with LMS branding on the bunker. Number 47406 is the first of 2 preserved Ginties this summer. The GCR Stalwart carrying BR black livery with early emblem. The other is 47298, which runs on the East Lancashire Railway, and our model is finished in BR black with lake crest. For the rolling stock fleet, we see the return of the popular BR Mark I post office sorting van. 2 models carry the classic post office red livery and come complete with the original features of mail exchange traductor arms and net, side lights and shell roof vents. Running on BR1 bogies, the pair are numbered W80301 and W80302. The nets were removed relatively quickly, and depicting these changes is M80303 in BR blue and grey. This model also sports scalloped roof vents. 2 vibrant post office liveries complete the lineup, each with scalloped roof vents, and running on B4 bogies. One carries Royal Mail travelling post office branding, whilst the other is in Royal Mail letters livery. With new tooling from Bachmann Branch Line, Bachmann Narrow Gauge and Graham Farish this summer, we've not left EFE rail out either, and we've got 2 brand new toolings along with some new tooling for the O2 steam locomotive too. First up is the Great Western Railway's bloater van. These were used to transport fish, mainly from Cornwall and Pembrokeshire. There were two versions built, the bloater and the bloater A, the latter being fitted with air and vacuum brakes, whereas the bloater only had vacuum brakes. Built from the mid-1910s, they were used to transport fish, and then from the 30s, 40s onwards, after a decline in fish traffic, they went into other uses such as parcels and departmental use, surviving through to the BR period in many cases, and therefore gaining BR liveries as we see here. The models themselves depict three different diagrams of vehicle: the S8, the S9 and the S10. The S8 was built with louvers on the side and ends. The S9 was very similar but had shell ventilators on the roof too. And the S10 was again very similar but had no louvers on the sides and ends. And these are all depicted in the EFE rail models, along with other various details such as the presence or otherwise of gas lighting, which was fitted from the start for loading in the dark, and this was later removed. And the Westinghouse brakes fitted to the bloater A's were also removed, and they were recoded as bloaters. Common features to every model include the NEM coupling pockets, which are mounted on close coupling mechanisms. There are sprung buffers at each end, and of course metal wheel sets are employed throughout. There's a fine level of detail, including underframe detail and the relevant parts for gas lighting and the different brake arrangements where applicable, separately fitted footsteps on the sides. And let's take a look at the 5 models we'll be producing first.
Two models depict S8 vans as built, complete with gas lighting as evidenced by the gas cylinder underneath and the 2 housings on the roof. One example depicts a bloater, whilst the other, which has additional underframe equipment for the Westinghouse air brakes, portrays a bloater A. Next is an S9 diagram as evidenced by the shell roof ventilators. This bloater carries the GWR shirt button livery and does not feature gas lighting. Two models in BR Crimson livery depict the S9 and the S10 with no side or end louvers. In both cases, roof vents are no longer present. Welcoming back the Adams 02, our first model depicts number 205 in LSWR Uri Green, with new tooling to depict the open coal rails at the top of the coal bunker for the first time. Carrying SR Maunsell Green livery is number W25, which also sports open coal rails, giving us mainland and Isle of Wight locomotives each displaying this new variant. Later, the Isle of Wight locomotives were fitted with larger bunkers, as seen on W26 Whitwell. Completing the lineup are a pair of BR liveried models, 30179 in BR line black with early emblem, and 30199 in BR line black with late crest.
Our final new tooling for today comes in the form of the Placer 12-ton general purpose crane. These models, like many of the products in the EFE rail range, have been designed and tooled from scratch for EFE rail. And the model depicts the 12-ton Placer general purpose crane TOPS code YOB, which was introduced from the mid-1970s. These were transported to work sites as part of train formations, but could be moved around the site under their own power because they were self-propelled. They could even be used as shunters where required to move wagons and other equipment around work sites. These vehicles were commonplace on the network until the mid-2000s, and in recent years have remained in traffic with Balfour Beatty. The models themselves are not motorised and have a posed jib, but feature an extensive level of detail with many separately fitted parts, as you would expect from a vehicle of this type. The metal wheel sets are fitted and decorated accordingly, and we have NEM coupling pockets on close coupling mechanisms fitted at either end, whilst a separately supplied accessory pack is available for you to add detail to the buffer beam where the functional coupling is not required. The 3 examples here comprise our launch range, and that includes the maroon version, which has a jib support which featured on some of the cranes but not all, which we can see is not present on the yellow versions. So let's take a look at these 3 models in a bit more detail.
The Placer 12-ton general purpose crane was introduced in the 1970s, and representing an as-built example is DRP 81522 in BR departmental yellow. The real vehicle is now preserved, and we would like to thank its owner Ron Bales for the assistance he has kindly provided during this project. DRP 81513 carries similar decoration, but without BR logos. This crane was used by Southern Track Renewals between the late 70s and early 2000s. Our final new model for today is crane DRP 81523, which carries the maroon livery formerly seen employed by Jarvis Fastline between 2004 and 2014.
Well, I don't know about you, Dave, but I think I need more fingers to count all this new tooling on.
We'll be using our toes.
We certainly will. And coming up in the next 3 months, summer 2024, the Class 25s will be hitting the shelves.
They will be.
The anchor mounted tanks will be hitting the shelves.
Excellent.
Our brand new NG7 range of 7mm narrow gauge models will be hitting the shelves. And in the months following that, we'll have the power vans and the new Mark 1s too.
Yeah.
So quite a selection of new products, along with all those items we've looked at, not seen on the table. We just couldn't fit it on. We've even got the new Class 30s, Class 31s, Dave. They're
Yes.
shipping. And we've got all sorts of other products that we've mentioned in this video and our previous British Rally announcements. So head to our website where we've got full details of all our products, including pricing and the latest availability information. Things like the power vans and the new Mark 1s will be hitting shelves later this year. But for now, it's a busy 3 months ahead.
Certainly will be, and there'll be more to come in 3 months' time.
There certainly will. And you can keep up to date with all our releases by subscribing to the Bachmann newsletter. Find the link below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know about all of our future videos. Like and share this video, and we hope to see you about at any of the events we're going to over the next 3 months. Will you be back next time, Dave?
I hope so.
Is there more still?
There may well be.
We look forward to it. Thank you very much for joining and watching today. Thanks for joining me, Dave.
Thank you.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.